The sun bathed the elegant garden in San Francisco in a warm golden glow. As Damien stood at the flower-covered altar, his heart full of hope, while looking into Ezra's eyes, the man who had become his everything over the past 5 years. But as the officiant smiled and asked if anyone had any reason why these two should not be joined in marriage, the peaceful moment shattered when three small figures pushed through the seated guests, their voices rising in a sweet, familiar melody that hit Damien like a wave. Lily, Noah, and Mia raced down the aisle, their faces lit with determination. Lily, at 11, leading the way, her voice clear and strong as she sang the opening lines of a song Damien had not heard in years. "Daddy Damien, we are here," the children called out in unison, the melody continuing. Noah, 9 years old, and little Mia, 6, joining in perfect harmony, the words about stars finding their true path wrapping around Damien's chest like a vice. Guests gasped and shifted in their white chairs, the beautiful setting with its string lights and blooming arches now feeling charged with shock. Damien's knees buckled slightly, his breath catching as he recognized his children, the ones he had not held in over 4 years since the divorce, and his decision to live openly as the man he truly was. Ezra turned to him, his brow furrowed with concern, his hand reaching out to steady Damien, whispering, "What is happening? Who are they?" Damien could not speak at first, the internal storm raging, memories of late nights singing that very lullaby to his babies flooding back, the secret song he had written himself about following your heart, no matter the cost, a melody born from his own hidden struggles. The officiant paused awkwardly, the ceremony halted as the kids reached the altar, Lily throwing her arms around Damien's waist, Noah and Mia clinging to his legs, their small bodies warm and real. "We missed you so much, Dad," Lily said, her voice breaking, the song fading, but the tune echoing in Damien's mind, making tears prick at his eyes. He dropped to one knee, pulling them close, the scent of their hair and the feel of their hugs overwhelming him after so long. Ezra stood beside him, his presence solid and loving, but confusion clear in his eyes. Damien felt the weight of every choice he had made, the years of denial, the marriage to Rachel to fit in the birth of these 3 precious lives, and the painful coming out that had cost him daily contact with them. Guilt twisted in his gut, but so did a spark of something else, perhaps hope that they had come not to destroy, but to claim their place. The guests murmured, some standing to get a better view, others whispering about the unexpected twist in what was supposed to be a perfect day. Damien looked up at Ezra, his voice finally finding strength. "These are my children, Ezra, the ones I told you about." Ezra nodded, his expression softening as he knelt too, placing a gentle hand on Mia's shoulder. In that moment, the garden seemed to hold its breath, the California sun bright overhead, casting no shadows on the unfolding drama. Damien's mind raced back to how it all began 5 years earlier in a crowded charity event in downtown Los Angeles where he first met Ezra. He had been there as an architect, donating designs for a youth center, Ezra a dedicated teacher volunteering his time. Their conversation started over bad coffee and shared laughs about the awkward silent auction, Damien remembering how Ezra's easy smile had cut through his carefully built walls. At 35, Damien had already lived a lifetime of hiding his true self, marrying Rachel right after college to silence the doubts, having Lily, then Noah, then Mia in quick succession, trying to build the picture-perfect family his parents expected. But the emptiness grew until one night, after a fight with Rachel, he admitted the truth to himself in the quiet of his home office. The divorce was messy, Rachel hurt and angry, his parents distant, the custody arrangement leaving him with weekends and holidays that slowly faded as guilt kept him from pushing harder. Now here at his wedding, those same children had appeared like a miracle or a test. As the kids settled against him, telling him in rushed whispers how they had convinced their mom to let them come after seeing photos of the wedding online, Damien felt his heart expand. Ezra listened intently, his own eyes misting as he realized the depth of Damien's past pain, the one Damien had shared in late-night talks, but never with this living proof before him. The officiant suggested a short break to sort things out, and the guests began to mingle, some offering kind smiles, others looking uncertain about the turn of events. Damien held his children close, inhaling their presence, the secret song still playing in his head, its lyrics now feeling like a prophecy he had written for his own journey. He glanced at Ezra, who gave him a small, encouraging nod, the love between them a steady anchor amid the chaos. This interruption was not an end, but the beginning of a new chapter, one that would force Damien to face the fragments of his life and weave them into something whole. The afternoon stretched on with conversations and tears as Damien introduced his kids to his partner, the man who had taught him that loving another man did not make him less of a father. As the sun dipped lower, the garden lights flickered on, and Damien felt a shift inside him, the internal conflict that had haunted him for years, the fear that his truth had cost him his family, now challenged by the very faces of that family showing up unannounced. Ezra pulled him aside for a quiet moment behind the arch, whispering, "I am here for all of it, Damien. Whatever this means, we figure it out together." Their embrace was brief but grounding Damien, drawing strength from the man he was about to marry. The kids watched curiously, Lily asking if Ezra was the one who made Dad smile in the pictures they saw. Yes, he is, Damien answered, his voice thick with emotion. The day that started as a celebration of love between two men had expanded in ways he never imagined, pulling in the pieces of his past and demanding he confront them head-on. As they returned to the group, the air filled with a mix of tension and tentative warmth. Damien knew this was the turning point he had both dreaded and secretly hoped for, the moment where his worlds collided and perhaps finally merged. The conversation with the kids flowed more easily than Damien had dared to hope as they sat on the grass near the altar, Lily explaining how they had seen the wedding announcement on their mom's phone and begged to be part of it. Noah added that they missed the stories Dad used to tell, and Mia simply hugged his arm tighter, her small voice saying the song made us remember you. Damien's chest tightened at the mention of the lullaby, that secret composition he had created during long nights when the weight of his hidden identity felt crushing. He had sung it to them as infants, tweaking the words to speak of inner light and brave paths, never imagining it would one day lead back to him at his gay wedding. Ezra sat close, listening with genuine interest, asking the children gentle questions about school and their favorite games, his teacher instinct shining through and helping ease the awkwardness. The guests had resumed their seats, some chatting among themselves, the initial shock giving way to curiosity about this blended moment in the heart of San Francisco. Damien's thoughts drifted again to the early days with Ezra, their first date, a simple walk along the pier where the ocean breeze carried away some of Damien's fears. Ezra had been patient, never pushing when Damien hesitated to share his full past, but eventually the stories came out. Late one evening in Ezra's cozy apartment, the confession about the marriage, the kids, the divorce. Ezra had not flinched, instead pulling Damien into a hug and saying, "Your past is part of what makes you the strong man I love." That acceptance had been a lifeline, allowing Damien to slowly rebuild his confidence as an architect and as a partner. But the guilt over the kids had lingered like a shadow, making him question if he deserved this new happiness. Now with Lily, Noah, and Mia right there, the guilt felt both heavier and lighter, a paradox he struggled to name. As the afternoon progressed, the officiant suggested they continue the ceremony in a modified way if everyone was comfortable, but Damien needed time to process. He and Ezra took the kids for a short walk through the garden paths, the flowers vibrant under the California sun. Lily asked why Dad had not visited more, and Damien answered honestly, explaining the difficult choices and how much he regretted the distance. Noah wanted to know if Ezra was nice, and Damien smiled, saying, "He is the best thing that happened to me after you three." Mia simply requested to hear the song again, and so Damien began humming the melody, the secret lullaby, filling the air once more, its words resonating deeper now that he saw his love for Ezra reflected in them. Ezra joined in softly, his voice blending perfectly, the four of them creating a new harmony that felt like healing. Back at the gathering area, friends offered support, one couple sharing their own story of family reconciliation, another providing snacks for the kids to lighten the mood. Damien watched Ezra interact with the children, his heart swelling at the natural way Ezra included them, asking about their drawings and promising to show them his teaching classroom. This was the man Damien had fallen for, the one who faced challenges with compassion and strength. Yet the internal voice whispered doubts. What if Rachel sees this as betrayal? What if the kids get hurt again by divided loyalties? Damien pushed those thoughts aside, focusing on the present, the way Lily leaned against Ezra's side as if testing the waters. The day unfolded with small moments of connection, the kids helping arrange flowers for the arch, Noah telling jokes that made everyone laugh, and Mia drawing pictures of two dads with three kids. As evening approached, the group shared a casual meal at the venue tables, the conversation turning to how the kids had traveled with a family friend who waited discreetly nearby. Damien called Rachel his ex-wife, the conversation tense but civil as she admitted the kids had insisted, and she thought it might be time for some closure. That small opening gave Damien hope, a step toward the forgiveness he had longed for but never fully believed possible. Ezra stayed by his side throughout, offering quiet words of encouragement, his presence a reminder that their love had already survived prejudice from colleagues and distant family. Damien reflected on the years of building their life together, the apartment they shared, the vacations to national parks, the quiet evenings where they discussed dreams and fears. Ezra had his own battles with identity growing up in a conservative town, but together they had created a safe space. Now that space was expanding to include these three bright souls. The night ended with the kids falling asleep in a guest room at the venue, Damien and Ezra sitting on the porch talking late into the hours about what the future might look like. Damien felt the emotional layers peeling back, his growth as a man who no longer hid but still carried the scars of hiding. The interruption had not ruined the wedding, it had deepened its meaning, forcing him to integrate all parts of himself. The following morning dawned bright and clear, the San Francisco garden still decorated for the wedding, as Damien woke to the sound of the kids giggling with Ezra in the breakfast area. He joined them, his heart lighter than the night before, watching as Ezra helped Mia with her cereal and Lily showed Noah a bird outside the window. The secret song came up again when Mia asked for it, and they all sang together, the melody now a bridge between past and present. Damien explained to the children in age-appropriate words how he had always loved them, even when he was figuring out who he was, and how sorry he was for the time apart. Lily nodded wisely for her age, saying, "We know Dad, Mom explained some, but want to know you now." Those words were a balm to Damien's soul, easing some of the internal crisis that had plagued him since coming out. Flashback to the early struggles after the divorce. Damien had thrown himself into work designing community centers that helped LGBTQ youth, a way to channel his own late-blooming acceptance. Meeting Ezra at that charity event had been fate, the conversation flowing effortlessly into hours of connection. Their first kiss weeks later had been tentative but electric, Damien feeling for the first time that he could be fully seen. Yet the fear of losing more family kept him guarded until Ezra's patience broke through. They moved in together after 2 years, the decision marked by a small celebration with close friends. Societal pressures were real, snide comments at Damien's firm or awkward family gatherings on Ezra's side, but they faced them together, growing stronger. Damien recalled a particular low point when a close friend betrayed his trust by outing him prematurely to colleagues, causing temporary job tension. Ezra had been there, helping him navigate the fallout, teaching him that authenticity was worth the cost. Now, with the kids present, Damien saw how his growth had prepared him for this. Ezra suggested they all take a walk to the nearby park, the group enjoying the fresh air, the children running ahead. Damien opened up more to Ezra about the song's origin, how he wrote it during sleepless nights, questioning his marriage, the lyrics a subconscious cry for the freedom he now lived. Ezra listened intently, saying, "That song is part of your truth, Damien, and now it can be part of ours." The day continued with activities. The kids loved drawing pictures of the wedding and asking questions about the rings. Damien felt the tension of prejudice he had faced in the past melt away in the face of this innocent acceptance. A phone call from his parents brought mixed emotions. They were surprised but offered cautious well wishes, a small victory in his journey of familial repair. As preparations for the rescheduled ceremony continued, the emotional depth increased. Damien realizing that his choice to come out had not erased his role as father but redefined it. Ezra shared his own story of identity formation, the support he found in teaching young students to be kind. The kids bonded quickly with him, Noah asking if he could call him Uncle Ezra for now. The affirmative response brought smiles all around. Damien's internal monologue during quiet moments focused on the decisions that shaped him, the sacrifice of a conventional life for authentic love, the consequences on his children, and the redemption now possible. The narrative of his life was no longer fragmented but converging toward wholeness. The garden filled with laughter as friends returned, the atmosphere shifting from shock to celebration. Damien knew the road ahead involved more conversations with Rachel and his parents, but in this moment, surrounded by love, he felt ready. The secret song played softly on a phone speaker as they practiced their vows, the melody underscoring every word of commitment. Weeks of planning had led to this day, but the interruption had transformed the wedding into something richer as Damien and Ezra decided to include the kids fully in the ceremony. Lily was given the role of flower girl, Noah and Mia as ring bearers, their excitement palpable. Damien worked through his lingering guilt by spending dedicated time with each child, listening to their stories from school and home, the conversations healing old wounds. Ezra supported every step, his calm demeanor helping Damien navigate the emotions. They visited the Golden Gate Bridge together, the family taking in the view, the wind carrying away doubts. Damien reflected on the societal challenges he and Ezra had overcome, the looks in public early on, the questions from coworkers about their relationship. Those experiences had built resilience, now serving as foundation for this expanded family. A key moment came when Rachel called again, this time with more openness, discussing visitation and how the kids had been asking about Damien for months. The talk was honest, Damien acknowledging his part in the distance, Rachel admitting her own hurt, but both agreeing the children deserved connection. This conversation marked a turning point in Damien's growth, the realization that forgiveness was a choice, not a given. Back at the venue, the rehearsal dinner became a warm affair, the kids performing the secret song with more confidence, the lyrics now shared openly as a family anthem about bravery and love. Guests applauded, the mood joyful and inclusive. Damien pulled Ezra aside under the stars, expressing how this day had forced him to confront his past fully, the internal battle between shame and pride resolving into acceptance. Ezra replied with a kiss, saying, "You have grown so much, and I am proud to stand beside you." The build-up to the high point intensified as Damien faced a small crisis of doubt the night before, wondering if rushing the blended family was fair, but Ezra's reassurance and the kids' innocent questions about living arrangements helped him see the potential. The story of their relationship unfolded in shared memories: the trip to Yosemite, where they first said "I love you," the quiet support during Damien's professional setbacks. Each recollection reinforced the bond. The children adapted quickly, Mia drawing family portraits with two dads, the image bringing tears to Damien's eyes. As the group prepared for the ceremony, the emotional layers deepened. Damien, understanding that his journey of identity was not solitary but interconnected with all who loved him. The prejudice from society had once made him question everything, but love had proven stronger. The day of the rescheduled vows arrived with clear skies, the garden alive with possibility. The ceremony resumed with the kids integrated, the officiant incorporating their presence into the words of union. Damien stood tall, his hand in Ezra's, as the vows were exchanged, promises of love, support, and now family unity. When it came time for the song, the children sang the full secret lullaby, their voices pure and strong, the melody filling the garden and bringing Damien to the edge of tears. The lyrics he had written years ago about a heart seeking its light now felt prophetic, his path to Ezra the true alignment. As the rings were exchanged, the kids cheered, the moment perfect in its imperfection. But the climax built as Damien spoke his personal words to Ezra, recounting the struggles, the growth, the decision to love openly despite loss. Ezra responded with equal depth, thanking Damien for teaching him courage. The kiss that sealed their marriage was met with applause, the kids rushing forward to join the hug. Yet the emotional peak came when Damien broke down the weight of reconciliation, taking him fully, the secret song echoing in his mind as proof that his past and present could coexist. Ezra held him close, the children surrounding them, the family unit forming in real time. Guests wiped tears, the scene a testament to human resilience. Damien's thoughts raced through the years: the identity crisis in his 20s, the pressure from family expectations, the joy of fatherhood mixed with confusion, the liberation of coming out, the fear of judgment in American society. Each step had led here, the choice to prioritize truth over comfort yielding this beautiful outcome. The reception followed with dances, the kids twirling with the groom's laughter filling the air. Damien danced with each child, then with Ezra, the connection deeper than ever. Conversations with friends revealed similar stories of love and family, the community aspect strengthening his sense of belonging. As the night progressed, Damien and Ezra shared a quiet moment, reflecting on the journey, the sacrifices, the rewards. The internal conflicts had resolved into clarity, Damien no longer defined by past mistakes, but by present choices. The kids fell asleep, content, the new reality settling in. This high point of emotion marked Damien's full awakening, the man who once hid now standing proud with all parts of his life embraced. In the weeks after the wedding, the blended family navigated daily life, Damien and Ezra adjusting their home to welcome the kids for extended stays. Rachel and Damien worked out a fair schedule, the cooperation a healing step. The secret song became a bedtime staple, its meaning evolving into a family tradition about love in all forms. Damien grew through the challenges of co-parenting, the doubts replaced by confidence. Ezra thrived in his role, the support mutual. A community event in San Francisco celebrated their marriage, the kids participating proudly. Damien faced residual prejudice at work but handled it with grace, his growth evident. The emotional arc peaked in a family vacation where they revisited the song's themes, discussing feelings openly. The months brought further integration, school events, holidays, the family bond strengthening. Damien confronted his parents in person, the meeting tense but progressing toward understanding. Ezra's encouragement was constant, the partnership a model of maturity. The secret song was performed at a school talent show, the kids shining, the performance a full circle moment for Damien. Internal reflection showed his transformation from crisis to fulfillment, the choices leading to this balanced life. High points included a surprise anniversary trip where the kids joined briefly, the joy overwhelming. Years later, the family thrived, Damien and Ezra raising the kids with love and honesty, the secret song a lasting symbol of their journey. Damien had fully embraced his identity, the past integrated without erasure. They faced challenges, but emerged stronger, the growth profound. One evening around the piano, the whole family sang the lullaby, the harmony perfect. Damien looked at his husband and children, his heart full, realizing love had healed what he thought broken. True or false? Embracing your true identity always means you must sacrifice the family you built before coming out with no possibility of reconciliation and blended love.